Alrighty. I may have to, maybe a little too loud. I'm still testing things. But trying to record some stuff while I eat dinner and do some other stuff. As people who know me or who will soon find out if they're watching my videos, I don't script just about nothing. Like, just not as, I don't script. I'm not. These videos are just for me, for the most part, and to help educate people on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Realities of certain things. I watch videos of board game playthroughs or whatever, and I just sometimes, depending on who I'm watching, I get this feeling that they've stacked the deck, you know. So it's like they're pretending to do a playthrough, and they act surprised when they get a card. Oh, this is such a beneficial card. I feel like they knew that was coming. So I tend to like the guys that do setup on camera, even though that's not always 100% guarantee with editing and everything. That, you know, it hasn't been stacked later. But for the most part, when you watch videos of mine, I'm eating. My daughter comes in and farts. I try not to edit out a lot of it. I mean, if she asks me nicely, Dad, I farted on camera, can you get it off? I will edit that. And then, of course, if something happens in the background or something, when I'm reviewing the tape, I see something that shouldn't be in the video, then yes, I will edit it. For the most part, I don't edit these things. But today, oh, hold on, speaking of my daughter, hi. I'm just doing a little recording of the Wayward Wanderer thing. I'm just showing people who are interested in both Foundry and, you know, come over here and wave at the camera and say hi. Oh, that's Cadence. She's going to start doing her own videos soon and hopefully get them up on YouTube as well.
You're supposed to edit the one.
Oh, you have one video for me? Yes, ma'am.
I just recorded it today. So
cool. I have that to edit. It's tomorrow. Sunday is edit day. So cool. But today I'm going to go over Mongoose Traveler 2nd Edition in Foundry and an online game that I play called The Wayward Wanderers. My little crew and everybody. And kind of the intent of this video today is to show people the behind the scenes. Because some people don't quite realize like how much work game masters do behind the scenes. You know, I know a lot of players do know that game masters do stuff behind the scene, but sometimes they don't realize how much. And some game masters don't do a whole lot, and some do. But I'm gonna edit this world description first, so that way when my guys go in, well, eventually, I think I've just passed that point, but that's okay. Excuse me. But the game, I call the game Wayward Wanderers because that was the initial name of the spaceship was the Wandering Wayfarer or something to that effect. It was the working title when I decided the premise of the ship and the game and everything to start off with, even before I had players. It was a modified Far Trader that you see here that I basically took the deck plans of and put into a scene that I found on the internet somewhere that was provided Pinterest or someplace like that. It may have been a Star Wars one because I see the desert, but I'm not absolutely 100% sure. If I did know, I would give absolute credit to whoever posted in there. But it should be free. If for whatever reason you find out it's not, let me know, because I tend to only take, you know, I'm not going to do that to anybody's work that they're trying to make a profit on of it, especially with the number of hours that go into these things. But basically, do I have a journal entry? I do not have a journal entry. I wonder if I can... I'm trying to see if I can find the initial file. Because what I basically did when I wanted to run a Mongoose Second Edition Traveler game. I tried to find the modules for Foundry, which didn't exist, but luckily, now forgive me for mispronouncing it, but Cepheus, something like that, who has done the Traveler stuff, and this is a list of the modules that I use in the game. Just want to throw that out there real quick. Did a lot of work and even had a part of the file somewhere, basically a page somewhere that told us what settings to change so it could be compatible with Mongoose Second Edition Traveler. So lots of props to all the work that person has done. Oh, excuse me. But basically, so what I ended up doing for the game was I wanted the game to start off on the ground and the players to not get into space right away. I didn't want them to be just handed a starship and off to the stars they go, which is not a bad thing to do for a game. Not at all. I'm absolutely not dissing any game masters that have run their games that way. But I was new to the rule set, so I kind of wanted to ease myself into learning the rules and figure out a way to test rules. And I figured, what better way to do it than in a starport controlled area with, minor bad guys and the starship on the ground. And so I decided that the players were going to inherit a starship from a starship captain that had recently passed away, but his ship had been decommissioned for about a year. And I also liked the premise behind that, because it was also a way of giving time while the ship was down for the players to reconnect, so to speak. Because in the way Mongoose Traveler works, is everybody can be connected and through the life events that are rolled, but they're connected just in paper. According to the rules, so I wanted them all to kind of have a chance to be part of the what do you call it? To actually connect in the game, so that the players could connect their characters in the game and reconnect, because they've known. Because basically the premise is that everybody kind of knows each other, and they all knew Captain Hawk, the previous owner that passed away, for the ship. And the working title, of course, was the Wayward Wayfarer was the name of the ship. But once I advertised and got players, I let the players decide upon a name. I'm going to see if I have a copy of the the journal entry. But I basically made a PDF, made a document, created a PDF for the invite, and then when I advertised the game, I linked the PDF and said, something to the effect of, are you interested in going to the stars? Your character has recently retired from his last career and is not sure what he's going to be doing with his life when he receives a letter, a dispatch, I think I called it, from the office of Lawson, of Locke and Associates on Iterati and the Five Sisters sector of space. Excuse me, sorry. I remember there used to be a way to do this. Let me try adding a page. Oh, yeah. I don't think that's the one. Yeah, that's just. I always forget how to do a lot of things in here, so. You'll have to forgive me for some of that. Oh, you know what? I think I may have actually set it up so that I could do a few things. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so that's going to be a copy of that legal document. You can kind of sort of see it there. That's just the document. For those who can't see it, I'll just read it real quick as well. But basically says, "Dear citizen, my name is Lawson Locke of the Locke and Associates law firm on Iterati, the imperial capital of the Five Sisters subsector Spinward Marches. I hope that this dispatch finds you in good health and standing. I have been recently asked to be the executor of the last will and testament of Captain Alexander Xavier Hawk. You have been named as a beneficiary in said will, and the captain has bequeathed to you some property. As I am uncertain if this message shall ever find you, I am not at liberty to discuss the details at this time. Please contact my office immediately should you desire to find out more. My contact information is provided with this dispatch. This will is in probate and shall take several months to be fully executed. However, the sooner you contact me, the quicker we may begin the process of arranging a meeting to go over the legal details. Should I not receive any message from you in 90 days, it shall be deemed you are not interested in being a beneficiary of the will for Captain Hawk, as per imperial law, and your right to be beneficiary shall be terminated. Respectfully, Lawson T. Locke. Lawson T. Locke, Locke and Associates, Iterati. That's the introduction, and then I had some game info or whatever that do it, and to get it, the players going into the game, and I ended up getting 4 additional players. Now I'm at 5. Got 1 extra one too eventually, but they were so, and then they all linked and they found out, and it was fun because when they did the initial thing, they decided, hey, they said, can we tour the ship? They did. And one of the first questions somebody asked, because I think 2 or 3 of the 4 characters were homeless and had no money. 2 of them at least had no money. So I think 3 were homeless and 2 had no money at all. So they didn't have any place to stay. So somebody asked, can we stay on the ship while it's being recommissioned? And the lawyer was like, oh, absolutely. Especially since one of the players is a captain and was a captain of a starship, which, by the way, I love the guy who did this because the player decided that his captain was a merchant marine, but he had been on very large ships, so he never had been in command of a very small ship. His whole entire career, he went to the Merchant Marine Academy, got assigned in this company as an officer, and moved up quickly through the ranks of this and got his own ship. But it was like a very large ship, so he had, a huge crew and a large, like 5,000-ton ship. Well, these Far Traders are only 200 tons. So it was great. It was kind of like the equivalent of, I think the analogy I use a lot is being part of a company that is part of a large oil tanker or cargo ship that's hauling cargo across the ocean all the time, and then you inherit a shrimping boat, and now you're captain. You kind of know the laws of the rules of the road for naval operation. You kind of know how a ship runs and port and starboard and aft and all that, but now you, instead of a 200-man crew and being able to pick up the phone and going, hey, can you get one of your 13 engineers to fix the air conditioning in my room? Now it's like 1 engineer. But so I made this map so that the crew would have a place. So I superimposed the ship and this, and then for those who are not familiar with, so we do have the players. They can move their tokens around the ship. If they want to get in a pilot seat, they can come over here and do that. However, so just to kind of move them around, so just so they have an idea where they are on the ship and everything. One of the fun things that they did was this right here was actually a bathroom right here, and like a one little galley, as it was called. Oops, that's the captain here, Captain Frank, he came in and said, oh no, this is unacceptable. We need to punch out that that bathroom and extend out. I want a working stove, a full-size refrigerator, because instead, I think I said it was like a mini fridge with a microwave was what the galley was on the ship. And he goes, no, I need a place to be able to cook. So he asked for permission to remodel And I just decided, I love the idea that that's what he did when he did it. Now everybody's kind of picked a room. This was actually an office that got remodeled to be the captain's quarters with a computer thing in it for him to be able to run some certain things in the ship. This room over here got a bunk bed system put into it because they got an extra crew member. Instead of 4, they're 5 now. And then over here, you kind of sort of can see them. I got them darked out in here. That's the engineering crew. So they actually have sheets because they all have notes, and I have their personality type traits that I got from the old Twilight 2000 game, a system that uses to give them traits and whatever. But that's the engineering team that's going to be working on the ship, or has been. There was a project plan. Here it is. It's kind of a little stretched out there. That I created this so I could track it as well. I don't know. And then, of course, that's the engineering team that's in there. So I created all this and put it all into the game. Also have the Lucifer's Crown base model for when they go into space. I can actually, right now it's gray, but I could go in there if I needed to and be like, let's create it. Let's make it black so it looks like they're in space. I could put backgrounds in there, but I think it conflicts with this background, so I just find it easier to go, hey, you're on a kind of a wood planet. Give it a generic feel to it. You know what I mean? But I have that so the players can interact and just have it as a visual. I do a lot of theater, the mind kind of stuff, and don't mind the Mad Hatter. That's a different ship for a different game. That game's not actually going to be played, but a friend of mine that I grew up in and went to high school with, really my best friend basically, we were playing around with modifying the old school Far Trader. But you have that, and then I got all the dice rollers and everything created in here. I did have to create an NPC the NPC motivation thing, so I can just roll up. It'll roll up. So like if this was a character, he's actually a very violent person. He's got a 10 as very violent, and the 4 and somewhat violent. So his 2 personality traits are just violent. So he's a violent guy, whoever that would have been. And then I got all the charts that are basically put in here. So basically from the book, so I don't have to worry about rolling and looking them up in the book. Excuse me. And then, but here's some of the behind the scenes stuff that I really worked on to I'm moving a few things so I can see some here, just so I can share them with I wonder if the window capture will work. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so basically Google Docs. Love Google Docs. One of my favorite, bestest friends ever. But I basically created a ship record. This is modeled after the rule book. If somebody has a copy of the rule book, they can see it's basically as close as I could get in Google Docs, modeled after it. So it's got all the information on here and some extra information that I have as well. So we can put in here, and I can track stuff if I needed to. I can put an X in there, and it'll be, I even made it red, just so we can mark critical hits and stuff. So I can have it like an off Foundry in case I need to run the game just in Discord and whatever, because there's an issue with Foundry or an update that occurred. I had also decided that I thought it would be neat to give the ships of the Imperial of the Empire certificates. This is basically based off of the state of Texas certificate of number for a boat in Texas. It's not exactly like an actual certificate, but I actually formatted this, and there's the old certificate under Hawk. There is, let me see if I have it. That's not it. That's trade. We'll talk about that later. More trade. Decoder, ref stuff. Ship. There it is. So yeah, so I even created like I said, a format for it, so that way I can display other ships if they should happen to want to do that. So that's what the information is. That's actually in there. Certificate number, which is the Imperial ship number, or otherwise known as an IS number, registration, and and other information in here, whether the ship is armed, streamlined, deep structured. That's all based out of the High Guard and the core book ship design stuff. Just little codes in here, and this was my little cheat sheet for doing it. And then Ships Random Age, that's from the book. These are manufacturers I just came up with. Some of them are Clear Creek Shipyards, based on the Clear Creek High School that I graduated from. And then just different things. Bennett, Pafford, and Capo Unlimited is actually 3 character names from one of my best online friends who lives in Newfoundland, who's played a lot of games with me. And those are 3 of the main character names he's used in, like Arma and was it 5M, stuff like that. So I decided to name them. But these are some of these. And then my home port code. So that's the code for the home ports in this sector. And then, of course, there's the Lucifer's Crowns tag. And then I have, where is it? Oh, and then this is actually a generator. So I actually can go in here. If I hit it, you can see that it randomly generates the data. So if I had a ship that was just flying around, I could just, bam, this is the information. Now, granted, the type of ship will, depending on what it is, I would have to manually do that. I don't have anything to randomly generate, whether it's a Far Trader or a scout ship or a safari ship or whatever. Now that I think about it, I might actually do that to make it easier. But this way, I have ships that can go into space. But that's basically what created this. So this actually has a hull number and has the identification number. I don't know if you saw it briefly over there, but the hull identification number is CCS for Clear Creek Shipyards. The 5-digit serial number is 66653. This is the only time I have actually left or not kept randomness to the thing. I randomly rolled the ship's age, randomly rolled a lot of things about the ship. But the original hull identification number when it was randomly generated was 66353. And I decided, since the players had decided the name of the ship was the Lucifer's Crown, and of course when I talked to the players, they were allowed to make the Lucifer's Crown has always been the Lucifer's Crown. So back when Alexander Hawk was a lowly little crewman on it, it was the Lucifer's Crown, and he worked up his way through the ranks, and then he became the captain and eventually owner of the Lucifer's Crown. He is so. But yeah, they decided it was Lucifer's Crown. So I just thought, hey, since it's the Lucifer's Crown, the serial number was going to be 66653. And then the rest of that is that's the date code. It was manufactured on the 37th date of the year 1127 or 1027. Yes, ma'am. Was there a problem? No, just plain. Ooh, that smells like s'mores. And then these other codes just are different things, but it just gives it a little personalization. I can create that into a PDF or an actual card for printing if I wanted to put it in my folder to take with me while I'm working or whatever. But that's but this is the ship sheet. And then because they are a trader, I went ahead and did a few work on. Oh, actually, I did a UFP decoder. So we actually have a planet in there. So you can actually go to what is it, Traveler Map. You can do it at travelermap.com and get right there. You can go to the travelermap.com and get planet information off of one of the planets in here. Let's say Flammarion. That actually might be Flammarion's information that's plugged in there. So let's go a little bit further. Let's get the Calabog's information real quick. You can actually plug maybe not if I'm gonna do it that way. You can actually plug that information in, and you'll notice it changes a few things. Oh, I got an error message. So something in there is I did wrong when I copied it over. But I created this because I couldn't find an online UWP decoder that did what I wanted it to do, and a lot of them weren't even for Mongoose second edition. They were for other editions and um, other forms of the planetary code information. So I just wanted a basic one. So I created this. So this is more for me, but I do have my players do have access to it, so they can push in codes codes in that spot if they want to. And yeah, there's sections that are locked, so that have all the code information for the that takes this data and breaks it down, and I had to create that to so it takes B and it goes, oh, if B equals this, then it's a good starport. If A equals this, then it's an excellent starport. All that good stuff. I had to create all that code in there, which you're kind of going to see here because I also created a trade. This is going to be the trade sheet for the players. The players will have access to this. I will replace this information with whatever information is generated. But that's what this worksheet is for. So if you actually look in here, you have each of the sections. There's little administrative stuff. Also does it for freight. It does it for mail. It does speculative trade, except this is still a lot more manual than I would like. I want to do it a little bit more, but I don't know the Google spreadsheet code, Google Sheet code that well enough. I know it well enough to do what I needed to do for this. Like here's a trade goods sheet that it pulls that there. Oh, that's random examples. We don't need that. But basically, I've got it designed so you come in here, you plug in, you have the players make their broker, carouser, Sweetwise check depending on what they're doing, and how many effects or negative effects you get in there. What's the chief steward skill level on board the ship? Plug that in. Source world and destination world for cargo. Right now, I do believe it's Iterati to Flamaran, just two major worlds. 3 jump away from each other. And then what you do is I hit backspace in any empty spot. Bam. It generates this number over here. So it does that's the actual die result. This is the translation of the die result. I basically take those. Oh, wrong button. Take those buttons. Take those. Nah, stop it. How Sheets does that. Boom. Yeah, I know. I messed that up. Let's try this again. There. Oh, shoot. It took the whole formatting. I didn't mean it to do that. I did it wrong again. Is that for me?
No, it's too spicy.
Too spicy for you? Okay. Maybe make a little sandwich, or do you have any more Lunchables or anything? You could do those little roll-up things, or do you want me to make you some ramen here in a minute? You take it. Yeah, find some food. Forage for food. All right, I messed that up already. Say take. Okay, that's fine.
I ate like a few bites of it, and then I just kept doing my Pokemon cards.
Gotcha. Values only. So see, it put the data that was over here, put it in here, and then it's going to calculate these. And then, excuse me. And then because of the distance, that'll calculate, like, if they decide, oh, you know what, we're just going to take, we only have room for 7 middle passengers on this trip. And it should calculate those in there. Why did that not? I messed something up. I have to fix it because look, there's the code right there. So I messed up something in the code. So where's that pulling that information from? Oh, right there. Duh. So if there's seven people, I put it there, and that's the amount of money they're going to make off of hauling 7 people 3 parsecs from Iterati to Flamare. But this is my calculator to figure it out, and then I would paste that into here so they could track that. Same thing for freight. Plug in the information, hit a button. Bam, generates all the freight that is available. Because freight in Traveler, for those that don't know, you can't break it down. It's basically a contract to haul 50 tons for 130,000 credits, 20 tons for 52,000 credits. And that's the amount. So this is, so you have to either haul it or don't haul it. So 20 tons if you got a 40 ton ship, that's available. But a 50 tons, you couldn't haul it in a 40 ton ship. I'm sorry. Not a 40 ton ship, 40 ton cargo capacity on your ship. But there's the information. It generates it, but in order to create it, again, I have to take this number and copy it over into here. Paste it, values only, bam. And then it would create those, but it does the, oh, it's over here. Forget it's over here. I forgot this side, you couldn't see it. This side is the side that's created based on the numbers. So where if I do, where is it? Boom, there's 16 lots there. Back over here, put 16 lots in here. And then if you come over here, notice there's 16 lots right here. So this side actually creates, and then I copy this to over here to save it. Because anytime you modify or anything or do anything in the Google Sheet, it recalculates all the random values. I haven't figured out a way to stop it. My Google foo is not that strong. Excuse me. And then same for mail. No mail. It's unavailable. The roll failed. Don't have any mail that you can haul. Do it again. Oh, yep, 6 lots. 6 lots, 30 tons total. Payout will be in there. Again. Copy. Values only. Oh, what did it do 2 again? Oh, I hate that. I got rid of some data. I don't know why I did that. That's my fault. I'm sure it's my fault. I got to redo it. It was working, and I must have done something when I kind of tried to clean it up. Oh, this is a little spreadsheet right here that I made of pre-ships. Because one of the things I'm going to do is these are just random ships. So in case the players interact with these guys at some point, I'm going to give them names. But they have, this is their whole number right here. Or, I'm sorry, their certificate. Certificate of whatever. I forgot what did I call it? Certificate of number. So this is their certificate of number. So this is an Iterati one. Home port Iterati. If you see Penelope's PE, Iterati's II, Astraltine is AE, Imapa is EE. I'm of course probably slaughtering these names because I'm really not good at that. But I like the idea of these codes just because when you come near like a spaceport or maybe there's a patrol vessel, and they'll be like, there'll be Penelope 6362, standby, heave 2, prepare to be boarded. Iterati 1516, you're clear for departure, bearing 270, Angels 30, or something like that. Just little communications. I could do it like that. And, or if, you're flying around and, there's a ship on long range sensors. Yeah, their ident code makes them an Astraltine AE3122LJ is their certificate of number. So somebody might do that, and it might be a repeat number. So I just decided to do that. So I rolled up a few randoms. I'll probably make a lot more. But yeah, I have all that stuff in here. I have a world creator and a few other things that I like to do. Don't pay any attention to the sentencing one, especially if you're one of my players looking. But yeah, these are the little things that I've done behind the scenes to give the players, because all this is all generated and coded, and I did it all by hand just because I didn't like what was out there or it didn't do what I needed it to do. So I created it. A lot of hours went into that, just so I can have a quicker way of dealing with it. Hi, baby. Yes, ma'am. You are?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we should probably maybe get a sign you can hang on the door to your room, so like you can be like video in progress or recording in progress. So I can, like, if it's not important, I can see the sign and be like, oh, I'll ask her later, or I text you, be like, hey, I got a question. If I see the sign, or if I need to go in there, I can just be quiet and go in there and leave you alone. You know. So my daughter's asking. She says she wants to make a video again. But yeah, that's some of the background things that I did. You know, a lot of man hours to go into creating this kind of stuff, just so the crew of the ship will have it. They're going to have a ledger. They'll have this this trade information sheet. I'll give them an extra page so they can actually do kind of like a maybe an actual ledger. Like, oh, we hauled 5 mercenaries to this planet for a contract for this much money. And then notes about it, or hey, we took 50 tons of cybernetics to this planet, made this much money. Something along those lines. Yes, ma'am.
Can you put on Raft on the...
Yes, ma'am. Oh, so you can record Raft? Yes, ma'am. I'm almost done with this video, and I'll come do that for you in a second. Looks like she's going to record some Raft. That'd be kind of a cool playthrough. She's played it a little bit in creative mode. You played Raft in creative mode, not really survival, right?
Sometimes I do survival, but I do peaceful mode.
You do have the peaceful mode? Oh, in survival, peaceful?
Yeah,
so the shark doesn't...
Because I need to be more careful, so I can get used to that, and if I get used to that, then I'll try...
Fair enough. Can you turn that on, my fan on high, pretty please, since you're standing by my controller? It is really hot in this room right now.
It is. This is the hottest room.
I don't know why.
It's the coldest.
Yeah, no, this room is horribly hot right now.
When I was recording a video earlier, I was like, I'm so cold. I didn't grab my blanket at all.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. What do I got? Did I have anything else? No, that was the trade assistant. Coder, ref stuff. I also have Lucifer's Crown. That's the one in there. Yeah, huh. All right, fair enough. Then let's go back to turn that off real quick. All right. Yeah, so in this one, there was a lot of work that I did to create the different scenes. I added a lot more supplies, so we have actual supply information and stuff that's in the game now, so the players can drag and drop, and pictures a little more intuitive for them to look at. I've got a few rules that I've been putting in just so they're more cheat sheets for me, so I don't have to pull PDF up and search. It's right there in the game. I can pull them up as a journal entry. I've got game day notes, so I can just put them in there. A little trade scratch pad as well, so a lot of stuff that's in the game. So I've got those that are... I haven't transferred notes over yet, thank goodness, because I just gave away everything that's going to happen on Reactor Day. Yeah, my players cracked me up because they all got onto the ship and they barely left the ship. Like, all my encounters and everything were all going to be in town. But all the players decided their characters were just going to hang out on the ship for the most part. Some of them did a little bit here and there off the ship, but not much. So I had to pull a hunt for Red October, How do you get guys off of a ship? How do you get people off of a ship that has a fusion reactor? And that's when the light came to me. So the recommissioning sequence, one of the days, once they did all the repairs and redone the hiring harnesses and checked all the safeties and, replaced the flux capacitors and all that good stuff, was going to be the actual fusion, whatever reactor in the future they use. But basically the nuclear reactor was going to get fired up. And well, the characters couldn't be there. So the chief engineer had to go to the captain and say, hey, I don't mean to kick you guys out if you got a better day, but we're going to fire up the reactor on Tuesday or Thursday. We need you to not be here because we got to shut the iris above us and close it all down in case there's a mishap, but you guys can't be here. And that's all it needed, because as soon as that happened, everybody was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to go here. I'm going to go check out paddleboarding. I'm going to go check out criminal syndicates. I'm going to go meet my ally. I'm going to go check out artwork. And I was like, yeah, I should have done this sooner. But it's actually cool, because one of the things that I liked about the game so far is this little table right here in the center of the ship. This is the crew area with the crew galley and a little dining room table. Every time we would get together to talk about something, like they would talk about how they were going to make money, or hey, we got a little extra money, we want to put a turret on the ship. What kind of turret? Should we do 2 doubles? Should we do a pop-up turret? Should we put a laser and a sandcaster? Should we put a sandcaster and a missile launcher? Blah blah blah. Even if they were out of character discussions, I still pictured them all gathered around this table. So I call it around the table. So they have these table talks where I just picture all the characters like waking up, doing their morning routine. Jane goes out and goes up in here and runs around the starport, and then comes back in. This ladder comes in, hits the showers, has breakfast, whatever. The captain gets up, takes a tour of the ship, goes to confer with the chief engineer wherever he is. Carl's out running he's got a major fitness thing that he decided to do, and I actually created I have to turn that on. Where is it? Boom, let's put that back up. Because that was one of in one of my no, what did I do with it? I don't know. I can't remember where I hit it. But one of them was, oh yeah, durable fitness. So let's pull this up for everybody to see. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Durable fitness. Yeah, so Major Carl Romano was like a 20-year veteran of the Imperial Army as a tanker. And so he was a tanker. So he came up with this idea that because he wanted to be useful and he needed to make money because he was broke, he decided he wanted to run like a CrossFit thing at the local park, and advertise and stuff. So they actually made a role to Captain Frank, the captain of the ship. He made an computer role basically to make an online presence, an internet presence. Basically, I call it online because I don't know if it's called the internet in the future or not. But he created a little online presence, and then the Major went around advertising. Sam, the new crew member, made some calls to some old contacts to say, hey, I got a guy who's doing something, help him out. Go, pay to do this fitness thing, see if you like it, need it, then pass the word. And I actually have, like, if you look here, there's going to be stats in here. These numbers are all entered, and they create formulas to do how many people he keeps or retains based on his ability. And he was using his leadership to kind of lead these people in the fitness routines. And he actually had 3 initial, and then he got 11 and 15 people. So he's actually grown quite a bit. We'll see what the next couple of weeks rolls are, because there was like 2 weeks downtime between last game session and when reactor day is, when I get everything. But yeah, I have all this information that's out here. For the character, and I actually came up with formulas. If they decide, I already had a formula written. They decided it was basically $250 credits a week from the soccer moms to do this. But if they decided to lower the price, they would get a bonus to recruiting, getting extra clients. If they raised the price, it would reduce the odds of getting more clients, because now they're more expensive. I decided the average on the planet was 250. That's why it's that way. But yeah, I even created, like, it's just a formula to do that kind of stuff. But just again, some of that stuff you do behind the scenes for the players, for the characters, for the game, all that good stuff like that. It's really a lot of fun for me. I think that's the biggest thing, is how much fun it is to create this and superimpose this ship into here, and then get try to get the lines as close as possible as the existing grid lines on the ship. creating the little dice rollers if you don't already have them, to be able to get your creating the NPCs. There's the Unsinkable Crew, the Mad Hatter. Oh yeah, Foundry has ship sheets, so you can actually, play around with information. That's the ship's components, cargo when they haul it, financial information, any notes about the vessel, and then the positions. And you can actually put links. You make skill checks. You can create skill checks and then put the crew member in there, and it will actually check the crew member's skill. So you can go in there and go, oh yeah, that's an easy roll. Boom. He's good. He's got an effective 11. He is definitely not misplotted the jump. And then she can do this one, and it's chain assisted, so she would get a 2 or 3, I think, bonus to it. Boom. Jumps. And the ship jumps with effective 7. So no mishap. So when it's not under stress, it's really easy to make a jump. Under stress, using unrefined fuel, jumping way sooner than he needs to, within the 100 diameter limit, stuff like that will make that. I think with the stats that they have on this crew, it'll be more like it's a routine check than a difficult. But that's it. Just some of the things that I guess I could have been better about going behind the scenes. With the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, I could have shown a lot more about. Like I said, it's not scripted. I mean, I need to do a Twilight 2000 combat video, because I did a couple videos on Twilight 2000, one of my favorite games. Warhammer Fantasy RPG is my absolute favorite. 4th edition is amazing. But I don't know if I want to do videos for that, because I feel like there's a lot of those videos out there already. I haven't really looked to actually gauge it, but I think there are. I may do them anyway, just because, like I said, I love the game a lot. So it would be really cool to talk about the combat and talk about character creation. I love character creation in Warhammer Fantasy. But Twilight 2000 would be my second favorite. Mongoose Traveler is quickly becoming my third favorite game. But I was asked to try to provide some examples for Twilight 2000 combat. And I really need to do that. I have set up a game. Oh, how? There we go. Let me just switch it over real quick. I know it's a Traveler one, but that's the Twilight 2000 kind of thing. And I don't know, for this one, I may actually do kind of a what do you call it? Script. I may actually write a script for this one, but not in the sense of a detailed script of you're going to say this and do this and do it like this and have pre-made stuff ready. I'll still keep a lot of random rolls and a lot of random stuff. What if I do use a script for the combat example, it'll be more like, talk about X, B, talk about X, C, make skill checks, or, make mobility checks examples, just like bullet points. Because again, I like doing unscripted stuff because I feel like it's more genuine. I feel like it's more true to what I want to present. Because I'm not a content creator. I'm not an influencer by no means. I mean, I have 6 videos in the whopping 5 years that I had an account open for Twitch or YouTube or whatever. I'm not out to make money. I'm not out to influence anybody. I'm not out trying to get companies to send me free products and stuff like that. I I understand how some people want to have companies contact them and go, here, we'll pay you to do a review or something. They want to make a living out of it, I guess you could say. I just feel like, for me personally, that if it ever came to the point where people are going to give me free products, or hi baby, or try to give me money to do something, then it's no longer fun. It becomes a job. And then I feel like I feel like that'll be the pressure of, now I have to produce content. I have to produce quality content. I'm not paying anybody to do production. I'm not paying anybody to do anything. It's me doing goofy videos. That's not, to each their own. They want to make money. You want to make a living and quit your job and make, 5 videos a week for board game reviews and playthroughs and stuff like that. Go right ahead. Knock yourself out. I'm just too, for lack of a better word, I'm too critical. I'm just not going to, because I will almost never say, because you never say never, but I'm not going to get paid to say I like something that I don't. And I would not feel comfortable if somebody gave me a free game and goes, here you go, review it for us, because then I feel bad if it's a horrible review. If it's something public, if somebody gave me a free game, if a company said, hey, here's a free game, review it, but don't post anything, tell us what you think. I'll privately send emails or do a video to send just to a game company. I'll absolutely do that, because then I can be critical. And then if they're offended, it's not public on the net, the flaws of their game or whatever. Because that's not me. I'm not going to pretend to say I like something just because I'm being supportive, or just because I have a wall of games behind me in the video that are all free, provided by people, and I'm not a content creator. I'm not here to make these things constantly. As you can tell, if you look at my YouTube, where this is going to be posted here in a day or two, last time I made a video was probably a year ago. Because I don't have a schedule. I do it when I feel like it. I do it when I feel like I need to do it. I feel like it when I want to do it. And again, if I'm getting patronage, or even if I'm getting ad revenue, or whatever it is these guys do, the greed. I call it the greed, but I shouldn't say that, because they're not doing it 100% for the money. But even if I was getting ad revenue, I'd feel uncomfortable about not putting out a video on a timely basis, because I think you have to anyway. I don't exactly know how that works. I know a little bit about it, but yeah, my next video is probably going to be Twilight 2000 Combat Review. So if you're watching this one, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around the table. If you have any questions or comments, post them in the comments down there, and I'll respond to them whenever I get a chance. I tend to forget about them. I got the email notification now. I just got to check my email more often than every 3 days. But again, have a good one. See you around the table.